So it's June. I'm sorry, July. What's today? July's 11th. It's July 11th, so it's 7/11, 2022. I'm watching GMA3. Now, I'm in this red, white, and blue. I'm watching GMA, what you need to know. It's S2E468. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so I'm in something called a North America. I get that in foster families, not everybody might like America. I get it. Um, and staying north of the equator at the moment, although actually, whatever. Um, so staying on the sphere and knowing. So now, when I was younger, there was a very special red, white, and blue mail carrier, being MAIL, and a letter. I was given what's called a pen pal, PENPAL. Had no idea who the person was. Um, and this was in like 1980s ish. But I was sitting in a classroom that had red, white, and blue as far as the pattern on the rectangle. And the receiving territory, I was told then, had was going by and using a red, white, and blue. So I'm just saying, at foster families, expecting grandchildren and a bride, perhaps in a protected class of something, who's been taken to college by special transport, in whatever that means. Barely remembers it most of my life. I don't carry it with me. I can't remember it here. While I'm in this red, white, and blue pattern, the whatever that I'm housed in, like territory wise, between plat map and the plot map, my anatomy and physiology is having a little trouble knowing names, territories, and titles and things that I should be reaching out for. So I use this system they've created. I call it, light board, the big board, the whatever. Um, and so I'm thinking in Scandinavian things. Norway's the red, white, and blue on that, whatever, not to get upset with the finish line. But I see on the big board today, Sweden has this color on its rectangle, same as Ukraine. Um, and they're talking about pen pals. They also have on their shirts this FLP reference, which they're saying is future leaders of whatever. And they're doing outreach work or pen pal work or whatever. There's some Christian or Catholic charity. When it was my pen pal, to vet that it was really me with the letter, they said, try to explain what your day-to-day, like what you see, like what your environment looks like, words that I wasn't used to. But again, it was a learning experience after school, with learning how and what the receiving person might be interested in to know about me, because why would they want to know about me? Like that was a whole conversation within itself. In this person that's so far away, why would somebody be so interested in what, I mean, again, much smarter people than myself knew, wherever their walk of life took them, that at some point this might be a relevant piece of my history. to bring up or to remind whatever and whatever, for foster with red, white, and blue. There was significance. I do exist. Whoever was on the receiving end, even though I don't have the name, I don't have the letter, that was kept within the elementary school for the place that they took me every day. It was part of that curriculum. It was the same place that what I refer to as Nicholas would come and would remind me of who he was sometimes. In whatever and wherever he went afterwards, I have no idea. I think once he told me there was a helicopter involved, but I didn't know what that was. Because nobody in my daily life, it wasn't a vocabulary word that I was familiar with, because I had never been in one, or even saw pictures of one. So here's what the big board shows me today in a yellow and blue, perhaps foster relationship. I don't really know. It says it's by some kind of mission that the Catholic charity is doing this FLP program with this Penpal.
To Dr. Sutton here and all of us here at ABC GMA3. We do want to turn now to Ukraine. The war there heading into a 6th month. The children of Ukraine facing, of course, daily devastation as that conflict continues on.
Yes, and a group of American kids sending their support and encouragement in a very unique way, turning to the power of the pen. ABC's Kira Phillips reports.
These boys have a message for the children of Ukraine.
That they will survive and that the war will go away soon.
It's a call to act.
Will survive.
It says here, student and LTP. So leadership training program is what they're referring to it. I saw they had special shirts made.
And that the war will go away soon.
It's a call to action.
I want you to know that you will be able to live and play again like before. You are in my prayers now and always. Stay safe and happy.
That may somehow, in some way, heal a heart.
Why do you want to help the Ukrainian kids?
Because all of them feel scared and I want them to make them feel better.
So when these Ukrainian children open up these cards, are they going to feel that love?
They're going to be reminded that God did not leave them alone. And if we can do that, we're changing the world.
Now, this is a charity from the state of Virginia. Whatever I was a part of was Long Island, was Strong Island, I've heard it referenced as, was Suffolk County, was part of the greater part of New York, being the part just outside the city limits.
McLean, Virginia is a long way from Ukraine.
You're doing a great act of love for people who need it right now. And it's the truth.
But for this Catholic leadership training program, they're going the distance. This is not a typical donation.
See here, it says here, leadership training. This particular one they're saying is Catholic led. Again, I don't know who led mine. But there was something that was done. I know it was of significance. I'm just not quite sure what happened and why my life unraveled or never came to fruition the way that the beginning portion seemed to be starting it with, respectfully no less, several visits to the school, like my 6th grade graduation, the 6th grade play that I was in. Trying to think of what else. Things that were momentous occasions for me where I didn't have the group that I went daily with. I was not, how do you say integrated? I mean, I was there, they were there. But after the forced being in the same room together, everybody at school let out, and then it's almost disappeared. There were after school where I sought out to try to find friendship, but again, it's not like lifelong friendships. It just... Now, in Warner Brothers and World of Wizards, there's a reference to a ministry dinner. If I was ever at one, I wouldn't. I mean, I would think I would know. But there's a reference here where this figure thanks the scamander, the SCAMANDER, for 3-letter components patterned together to make some made-up cognition for the big board, so it constructs and holds together some form of communication. Since in the real world, I've never met anybody or heard of anybody that goes by these labels or names, or if there's any truth be told in this form of storytelling. I am not clear.
Why leave Hogwarts when the world outside is burning? I thank you, Mr. Scamander.
Now, I have a pretty good idea who this is supposed to represent in my life. Like in real world. In Poppins, whatever. But in being dropped off by the college representative that I didn't know if Lyndon Lou knew or didn't know, not being with Dan and his family, but being with some Niklaus and being with, or Nicholas in the big black truck with the representative, and returning home and him walking me to the door and introducing himself, and saying that he'd be in touch. But then I didn't. So, there was a representative in the car with the two of us. I'm not sure if he keeps his representative for life. If that's the representative that fosters and helps our relationship and keeps the records, the formal records of our encounters or our whatever attempts to get to one another in the correct fashion. I mean, I don't really know. But here I am. Now, here's an interesting part of the movie. It's a representative that looks semi-familial, and then he has this meeting with someone he refers to as Credence. To me, it looks very Keanu Reeves from the very popular film, whatever, called Matrix, who his character, he uses the 3 letters of NEO for Neo. with a Trinity relationship. Is this how the union broke?
Hello, Credence.
Do you know what it's like to have no one? To always be alone?
See,
No, he asks in the movie, are you the one who have been leaving messages in the mirror? It's interesting. Because according to my notes, the messages in the mirror read, I want to come home. And do you know what it's like to be alone? Which I thought was really very interesting, because it just handwrites itself in the mirror by itself. And then they try to like ignore it and push it away for some reason. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.